show you how to extend a handlebar harness for a Harley Davidson. We're going to extend the electrical system going through some of these curves. Now the first thing you have to do is get yourself one of these kits. It's an extension kit. It'll come with your 12-inch wires with the proper clips on both ends, and they'll come with your heat shrink. Now at first you may be tempted to just cut these wires. I would suggest taking out these clips. It's not that difficult. But before you do that, you need to make sure you take out your phone or any type of camera and take a picture of your wire configuration. These are generally either solid or solid with a colored stripe. Also make sure you jot it down on a piece of paper. Something like a wiring diagram. Then you'll notice that looking at this little clip on both ends, it may be a little difficult at first, but this little rubber piece, this orange piece, along with this black plastic piece are housed inside there. So once you free it up, you'll be able to take the black plastic piece off, slide out this rubber protector. This is going to protect from water. Then these are not that difficult to pull out once you get the proper tools. I'm just using a small jeweler screwdriver. Make sure it's in all the way, and then the wire will come right out. Just take a note of how you took it out. I kept them in the orange housing while I attached the rest of the extensions. So you can see at this stage I'm on the left side, the audio side, and I've gone and removed all of the connectors from the housing. The next step was to go and put the extensions in, and that's what I've done here. For this next step, we're going to run a leader line, a little nut tied to it. We're going to run it through the handlebars. Just going to feed it through the opening and let it drop through until it comes out the bottom end here. So you can see we're done now. I fed it through the opening underneath the handlebar here, and we've come out the bottom. For this next step, I'm going to run my leader line around the cabling, harness cabling, and tape it up, and this is what I'm going to be using to pull through the bars. Okay, so at this point we have secured the leader line, taped it, and we are ready to feed it through the bars. Now in order to get this cabling through the handlebars, I picked up some lithium grease to help in the process. So just apply a little bit of lithium grease on the tubing, and as you work your way through piece by piece, just keep applying the lithium. So we're going to start at this end. We're going to push a little bit through this end, and as we're pushing on this end, we're going to be pulling out of the other end, and I'll show you what I mean in just a sec. I'm going to apply a little bit more of this lithium grease. So the idea here is to pull on the leader cable as I push the housing through the handlebars. Just keep feeding the housing through the top part as you pull. Before you know it, you'll be out with the end. What's really key is taking the photo of the connector, so once you have the new wiring in, you can compare. Okay, this very next step, we're going to throw on our shield. So we cut it to the right size, have enough room to put on the heat shrink later on. The smaller
individual wires. Going ahead and strip all our wires. We're going to end up soldering all these together. You don't want to strip away too much, but you want to do, I'd say, about 1/2 inch to 3/8 on both ends. So we're going to do this side, and naturally we're going to do the harness from within the bars. Same amount. So the next step, we want to go in and slip our shrink wrap or heat shrink onto these ends. Now, just for simplicity, and so these don't slide and fall off, I started on one side and do 4 at a time. So just slip your shrink wrap on. You have to twist the ends. It's braided wire. So those you need to cut to make sure that your shrink wrap extends over both sides. You're looking at about 3/4 of an inch. So next we have yellow. Now you have to be careful because some of these colors are duplicated but with a stripe. So you could say this is a yellow, but this is a yellow with a black stripe. That's why the documentation and the photos is an important process. So this is key. So when you're attaching your two wires together, you want to meet them halfway up. So it should look like that. Make sure you're right in the center on both before you start to twist, one side at a time. Before you begin to solder, so now you want to grab your soldering iron. You want to apply heat to the wire, right? So what's key is the wire gets to the right temperature. So when you're actually applying your solder, you apply it right to the wire, and you'll notice that it'll flow. Once you have your heat shrink over your wires, your connections, making sure, just grab any lighter, go over your heat shrink, and it will shrink. Make a nice seal. Here's what your wiring looks like when it's all said and done. Just a matter of slipping on your last piece of heat shrink just to cover up that connection.